Well, hey, Aries, it's Cardinal Signs Week, and that means you, and you're the first one I'm going to try a new spread on. A spread designed especially for those of you who are Cardinal. And what that means is you're the first sign of any season, and you get us started. So I'm going to ask about what you, Aries, have got started. What's starting up? What sparked that new idea? Let's see what you need, what you bring, what's hidden, and the outcome. Is that it? Yeah. And we'll look at underlying energies and we will clarify. And I'm seeing the King of Cups here. We'll see what's going on here with this new project. I like to be around cardinal signs. They have great new ideas. They've got a lot of motivation, and especially you, Aries. And then B, if I have an idea, a cardinal sign is going to be like, yeah, let's do it. That's really great to be around. So let's see. What are you starting up here? A Princess of Cups. A new love, a flirtation, an emotional beginning. It's very light. It's very fun. It's very sweet. We do have Venus in Cancer in this season, your fellow cardinal sign Cancer, and water sign. And so that Princess of Cups energy is some of the kind of sweetness of Cancer combined with the knowing of her worth that Venus represents. All right. That sounds fun. You're starting a new love or something. Oh, but let's not think that this is light. We do get a sense of the importance of this. This is about ascension. So if you do this right, you get to move up in the video game of life, right? So we see everybody here saying me, 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 and the angel deciding who's going to. Here it kind of looks like transform into a bird and rise up. So that's like a very significant way of kind of going forward with your heart here. And what we also see here is there is some underlying energy of self-harm. This is your mind, and it is poking you in the eye. Does your mind ever poke you in the eye, Aries? Mine does. Self-harm. These would be habits of the mind that disempower you. It can be that you win, but you don't really like how it feels to win. You've hurt others, and thereby you've alienated yourself. So it's a very different energy to work with here. But let's just see what's going on. You're starting something in the emotional realm. It feels light. It feels fun. It feels young. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to ask the Four Hoxa deck some more questions about this. I see on the bottom, not yet upright, the Two of Cups, right? So we can see like this could be coming in, like it is kind of a soulmate connection there coming in, but it's not there yet. So I think that's important to mention. Oh boy, I'm glad I didn't do that. Just have this deck mixed up. All right. Let's see here. Aries. Starting up something from the heart. Something of importance and something that addresses perhaps a pattern of self-harm. The Five of Swords. A seemingly small thing that's a big thing. Okay. I'm kind of curious how this is going to go, So, what is the spark that gets you started here? An Elder of Earth. Wow, this is a very earthy, powerful, secure energy. This is very practical. This is about abundance, the home. I mean, this is that King of Pentacles energy. So this is almost like there could be a person represented here by this Elder of Earth. It could be also, I just had to make sure my candles were lit, and I have to remember to blow them out when I leave. So this is a a very stable, secure feeling. So a need for security or somebody that represents that, or an urge in yourself. Elder of Earth. Okay, well, we'll find out more about that. What do you need to get this started? The Star. So this is about healing and wish fulfillment and divine support. So all of those things would be needed to get this emotional new beginning started. All right, something's starting to come in here as I look at these cards. What you already have. The Five of Earth. So this, like the Five of Swords, fives are hard. They're passageways. They cause you to look away from the darkness and towards the light. And this is a really fantastic Five of Earth. We can see that she's out alone. Potentially, you could think of these wolves as dangerous. I always kind of see them as allies that you're not quite recognizing as like you, right? So like what you have are allies who appear to be enemies. I'm seeing how she's looking. It's a snowy day, and what's this? What's coming in here? What are these? They're like little trees or mushrooms or... This is mysterious. I need further explanation of this. Actually, let me look and see what the artist said about this Five of Earth here. I don't usually have to look in this book, but I'm curious. Oh, okay. Let me read to you a little bit. So this is what you bring to this new beginning, and it's a difficult feeling. The exhausted fairy pushed down on the frozen, barren earth that yielded barely a bean that season. Angry and scared of what might come of her, she cursed the land for its inability to provide sustenance. So that's what we see there, that kind of dead plants in winter. Her anger then turned inward as she thought of how much of a failure the others would perceive her to be, and conjured in her mind all the criticism she would face by those far more successful. With each thought, she created a wolf that paced the land that separated her from the others. The wolves feed on her insecurities and self-doubt. They preyed on her feelings of scarcity, growing stronger, so much so that crossing them was near impossible. The fairy, weak, hungry, and alone, created a barrier so frightening between herself and her community that to return home, she would need to find the strength and courage to confront and slay each wolf. Right, so these wolves are your ideas, and I, your reader, further interpret them as ideas that are potentially transformative, that are your allies. So like all of this is a perspective and it can be shifted, but there's the light. So you need to go through this difficult passageway to get to the sun, which represents like the star, but even more so, wish fulfillment, absolute authenticity, and happiness. So it's an interesting thing that you bring here. It's a difficult perspective. It's perhaps something that you've actually transformed before and that you have a practice of transforming that. We will look further. What you don't know as you start this journey, the Knight of Fire. This is a great, powerful energy, passion, inspiration. It's very much your energy with the fire, Aries. You are of fire. So there's some kind of, you're not aware of this, especially if you're coming in feeling like this, you're bringing defeat, kind of feelings of abandonment, negative. You're bringing in some negativity that you can transform, right? And so this is what you actually need, is what this would transform that negativity. And I do feel like it's some form of divine support. So when we think about what sparks this, it's very much like an earthy energy, because you kind of come in with this sense of lack, and the elder of earth represents the one who is capable of bringing in everything, all the abundance, all the security. The Elder of Earth is also answer to this. So what I see is that Aries, like hardship, is actually what you bring and get to transform here. And what we can see is this is about just a lightness and an open-heartedness. That is a part of transforming this this self-harming, this Five of Swords, into this ascension of the Judgment card here. So I'm really curious about this Knight of Fire. It's almost like your own, very own element, like who you are, the spark that you are, what it is in you as a fire sign that sets us forth on this new adventure. And this can feel like bigger than you, right? That's kind of what I wanted to find out in this reading is like, so if we're all kind of like, we're struggling with inflation, we feel like we don't have enough. How are we going to have enough? When are we going to be able to take a break? And so if that's the problem that you're seeing in the larger world is a limited abundance. These cards are saying this is a perspective, and what you are forgetting, or what you need to know, is that you have the leadership and the ability to carry a message that will spark us towards transforming this. When I see this Five of Swords, and I think about this in a larger sense, not just on a personal level, the self-harming mentality is much like the Five of Earth, which is about poverty. The Five of Swords is just like, it hurts. It gives you a headache. Your brain just like, you can't sleep, maybe. It just kind of, it has an obsessive feeling, I think, because it's like right in the eye. This poking with, really gives me like a ow feeling. So what I guess I think what's transformed by your fire and by your heart is this self-harming Five of Swords behavior or sensibility or perspective. Right. Okay, the outcome here is a Seven of Earth. So that's beautiful. Like, it looks like a collaboration. I almost wanted to have a card here of like, who will the Aries want to bring along on this journey? So Aries, if you're a fox, and I have a special Aries who always identifies with foxes in my life, you have these other friends. You've got the snake, and you've got the fairy, and you're collaborating together. They're picking mangoes in this image. Mangoes are my favorite fruit. So everybody's working together. The snake and the woman are working together, and the fox is really looking forward to the fruits of that labor. So that makes me think about how you get us started, but then you kind of need help. You need the fixed signs to like see it through with their stubborn ways. And then when we're done, you need the mutable signs, like the snake. We can think of the snake shedding her skin. They need to move us on to the next project. So that's what I see in the future is you got us started like this fox. You planted the mango, and then you're waiting for the harvest that will be done by your friends. So this is a very collaborative outcome here. Okay, that's very fun. Let's see. We will look further. I feel like this is still fairly vague. Underlying energies. 2 energies. There is I love this fairy in the Seven of Fire, Seven of Wands. This is about resistance and integrity. These are like all of the dark thoughts of the Five of Earth and the Five of Swords that are nibbling at this fairy's toes. And she has to stand here with integrity, even though there's all of her dark, disempowering thoughts nibbling at her toes. And then secondly, we can see the Two of Earth, which is, look at all that work, all that energy, like you're in the garden growing things. And this is very much has the feeling of planting things in the garden, even though underneath, you can kind of like maybe even see it. like this. So you're in your garden and you're getting this all started, planting your mangoes, right? And then there's the roots. And what they remind us is that underneath your toes, as you plant in the garden, there's all those dark thoughts that are a part of the challenge here, brought to you by this elder of earth, which is to work through the negative dark thoughts, to heal those, and to take your power here and to do your part. Despite, I think there's some messaging out there that I'm kind of feeling and trying to correct in my way, that we're in trouble and that there's gonna be lack. And so I really don't tend to be a pessimist, but there is some kind of pessimism out there. And so if you identify with that optimism in me, you can feel called, as I often do, to help people see, the possibilities here. Well, let's clarify. Yeah, and I picked this this deck once to clarify, and it's gonna just take us deeper because it's not a simple deck, easy to read. It just has a lot to say to you. Okay, Aries. So let's look at this spark. Oh, yeah, we're gonna split this. All right. I'm not gonna do this for every clarification. Oh, now we're gonna shuffle. All right, so there you are, the Magician. So this is what sparks you, right? We're clarifying. It's a very powerful energy of creativity. Here, the Earth's creativity, and here's the Magician who has earth, water, fire, and air, all the tools, all the elements at your disposal to create this. So there's a great feeling of power. To tap into earthy, in particular, abundance. Yes, and more earth, the muse of materials. This is actually the same card in this deck, right? So we see these are the same card. This is earth, it is abundance, it is the season that we are in. And Aries, you got us started in spring, right? You bring in spring. Cancer brings in summer. Right, so in a way, what we could see that the spark happened was the beginning of spring, your birthday, perhaps, in the earth here, and then we have, thirdly, the clarity of the Queen of Voices. It's a very different kind of a pruning energy, actually, if you think about this in terms of earth. So the Queen of Air sees with clarity, right? So if we see you as a leader, as our leader of the season, as our cardinal force, right? So what I'm seeing here is like a lot of clarity. You're looking at the situation, you're seeing abundance, you're seeing a lot of security, and you're seeing the Magician, that part that you might have to play here in this. I'm not yet seeing this lightness. I see like kind of a serious situation that sets you off in this really creative, raw energy. Okay. I want to switch these cards, and I hope that isn't confusing, but I want to switch so that, because it makes more sense to me in the narrative. So like, this is what you bring, and then we'll move this one after that. This is what you need. It makes more sense to me that way, to put it on the table in that order. So this is what you bring, which is this Five of Earth, this dark feeling. And it's in you. It's not outside of you. But you can bring that perspective shift too. Okay, let's clarify. You bring the Five of Earth. I mean, maybe you're one of these wolves and you're coming out on the depressed one and you're like, come on. I don't want you to kill the wolves, although that's what this story said. So if you relate to that. Okay, Five of Earth. A Five of Wands. This is some creative chaos. It's fight. An idea, a spark. And you're willing to put it into the mix here. That's fire energy. That's your energy. So we've got 3 5s on the table now. What else? There's the heart. There's your ace of emotions, your good, true heart, your sense of self-love, a new love. That's our Princess of Cups energy. All right. And yeah, we've seen this before. Yeah, we see the 7 of Earth, 7 of Materials. It's this. It is like I plant the seeds, I wait, and then my friends harvest it. So this is what you bring. A lot of inspiration and kind of like being willing to be in the mix with other people. Yeah, this is the 7 of inspiration, 7 of wands or fire. And so this is you up ahead, and there's the other ideas that maybe are they were coming in to me not as competing ideas and inspirations, but as like the thoughts, the darkness in your fire. It's like the coals, and they hold a lot of heat, and and it's making me think about like burning your toes on the coals. It gets uncomfortable in that particular 5 of wands. So when we see the 7 of materials and the 5 of wands or fire, we're getting still that sense of inspiration and still that planting your garden. You're going to grow some mangoes. Your friends are going to help you harvest them. And you're going to enjoy the fruits of your collective labor. And you're definitely coming with this emotional depth. It's like I always sort of see her as like coming up from deep in the ocean and bringing this heart to the surface. Oh yeah, and I kind of see how these sorrowful, abandoned ones are like there. If you pull out, if you get this perspective, like here's you coming up from beneath the depths that don't really give enough sustenance to this depressed little fairy, and you're bringing inspiration, a willingness to like fight that mentality, and that starter attitude of the 7 of materials. Okay, so that's what you bring. Here's what you need. You need healing, more springy energy, right? Divine support, wish fulfillment. So there is a wish that you have that's a part of this spark. It's your vision. It's what you're manifesting as the magician, and you need that to come in almost magically. It feels like from outside of you. And I was expecting there to be a need for help with this, because I was thinking so much about how the 3 categories of the zodiac work together to complete project and move on to the new one. So let's see the star. There's a classy love offer, the Knight of Emotions. You need like another person who comes with their heart, maybe? Yeah, and that's like a meeting of hearts here, right? So here's you coming up with your heart, and then here's this Knight of Emotions meeting you. And that it is like very clearly, and I think because we saw this 2 of Cups coming in, it's like that's not here yet. It's like you need a person that has the same kind of heart that you have. What else? 4 of inspiration, a soulmate, a group of friends, a party. This is a very fun collaboration where you get to be yourself. Yes, you need others, don't we all? You need others to heal, to bring in this healing and to make this wish real. And you need the divine support. The time will change. The wheel of fortune. This is the divine. It's divine timing, and it will change in your favor. So these are the 3 things that you need. You need your classy love offer, your soulmate, and then you need your larger collection of soul people, your heart people, the 4 of inspiration. And then you really do have to wait on the divine to turn the wheel. It's like the wheel of time. It's seasons. You can see this, the phases of the moon, right? And that's this feeling that you actually come with the capacity to wake. So that these are the things that you need to get this party started. All right, what you don't know is the Knight of Fire. It's a inspired, quick energy. It's a messenger. Could be another individual that you need. Could be you. It's like you don't know this either about yourself or you don't know this person. What else? Ooh, death. The Scorpio energy. There's a fixed sign card, if that's what you don't know, but there is something very transformative here. I'm not surprised because we see this as being about judgment, the underlying energies of judgment and of self-harm, Five of Swords. So death is key to a process of transformation. And it also makes me think of this energy here that's a part of the spark, which is like a dark clarity. Like it's the mind. Voices are swords, is air, is the mind. This would be your fellow cardinal sign Libra's energy, perhaps. But it's also, it's got clarity, it's got intellect. There's something about the mind getting blown by something that you perceive here. Like, I mean, it's kind of a graphic image of your mind blown, opened up. So a messenger. What else? Oh, there's some pain. There's the mind again. Three of Voices. This is the mind and the heart out of alignment. Okay, hang on. Let me pull one more card. The Fool. I always think of the Fool with you, my dears, because you're the youngest sign in the zodiac, and so the Fool is that young leap of faith energy. Okay, so what this is, what you don't know is that you can transform very, very painful loss into a new beginning. I'm your Scorpio. I know this. This is all, like, this is what I can teach my fellow zodiac members, right? We Scorpios understand death can transform this terrible suffering, this pain, this loss. And in the Three of Voices, you know, the more I like really understand that feeling, because I get hooked on things, I get fixed. That's my stubbornness. I won't let go of things. I'm like a pit bull. And if my mind does that, it hurts my heart. If I take something so painful and I keep going, to my heart, right? So that's this energy, you know, of self-harm through your thoughts. So what you need to understand is that underneath your charisma and your ability to inspire others and to carry this message, it's very, very, you're inspiring. That you're coming from, or you can come from, the way that death teaches us about transforming pain into a brand new beginning. And like you absolutely are, you let go of everything, you have nothing left. And when you have nothing left, you travel light and you're free. And then you get to begin again. And that's very much where we see this heading here, is like, this is some kind of heart pain. The garbage guy is here, adding to the background noise. And this heart pain is a source of liberty that will allow you to carry your message. The other way to read this is that you're unaware that what's inspiring you is a dark energy of pain and loss. Hi, garbage man. Okay, so the outcome is you planted the mango tree, and now your friends, the fixed sign and the mutable signs, are picking the mangoes, and then they're gonna give you some yummy mangoes. Like the little fox is drooling yummy. I love mangoes. Okay. All right, my dears. What is happening here? There's that generosity of the planet. This is a Pentacles Earth energy. Hello again, garbage truck. There is healing. That's some of that star energy. Four voices. This is your mind. So if your mind's hurting you, if you're in that Three of Swords, when you get to the Four of Swords, you kind of heal your mind. You take out the trash. All right. And then you put down a burden, the Ten of Wands. You finish. Sorry about that noise. It's completely out of my control. The guy is backing up. Awesome. I know, I watch other tarot readers and then they're like, oh my god, they're mowing the lawn. My dog often licks out of the bowl and munches on some food during my movies. Anyway, it's always less obtrusive than the reader thinks, in my opinion. So, the Seven of Earth, we see you waiting. Because you start it, and then the next group keeps working on it, right? So the earth is abundant. You are relaxing in the bath, in the Four Voices. And then the Ten of Inspiration, the burden is put down. You're done. You complete your part of this project. This project is, yes, it's very, oh, cool. Yeah, so much. You know, I could read all of these under here. Let's see. I'm looking at the underlying energy of your clarifying deck. What I see is I'm going to stop here. There's these cards that, anyway, I'm going to pull the cards that are upright. So this is Earth. This is working with the Earth. It's a kind of gardening energy. It's a seed planting process that you're engaged in. We've seen that in numerous ways. It's fueled by some awareness of the truth, right? So we saw that here, that the clarity of the Queen of Swords. So there's that truth coming in, but it's very beautiful message of truth, healing. These prayer flags, you know, the wind blows through them and your prayers get heard. And they're constantly, every time the wind blows these flags, you are praying. Or there's a prayer happening. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's my understanding of these prayer flags. So there's something, when I think about cardinal energy and I think about Aries in particular, I just think of this like fiery, muscular drive. It's very physical energy. And we're really seeing you engaging in that in various ways, in working with Earth. Working with Earth's abundance and shifting from fear, lack, loss, transforming that into inspiration, healing. And it's very much about you working with others to do this. So it's an extrovert's energy. But there is something really deeply private and secret and intuitive that you access in this process. I'm going to say the garbage truck is important to your reading. Has gone by 3 times. 3 is the charm. And so Aries, yes, the taking out the garbage, right? Remember I was saying that this person is traveling light? And then we've got all these thoughts. We've got the clarity of the Queen of Voices, but we also have thoughts that are kind of like stabbing you in the eye. And we have like this painful 3 of Swords thoughts hurting your heart. So when we talk about death to those kinds of thoughts, there's ideas here that you're transforming. You're kind of starting a process of transforming these painful ideas. And I think of these ideas as like your own secrets, your own interpretation, your stories about, it feels like your life, right? Like it's something that left you feeling really in danger and out in the cold, and that there's no getting there. Like this is the wolves that you created in your mind. This is the failure of your harvest in the past, right? So there's a lot of getting through to yourself by just simply unloading these thoughts and letting yourself trust the universe. Like she's got that inspiration coming from her hands. There's a lot of, two of these decks have this juggling and working with earth energy with roses. They're two different artists, two different decks. This is the way that the magician is going to work with earth, with spring, your season that you start, Aries. And then you can see it again here in the outcome, the generosity of earth. That's like coming to know and trust that. And in a way, it's like you need to travel like this. Travel light. Find a way to take out the garbage, right? Garbage truck went by 3 times, Aries. So take out the garbage. I think the thoughts that hurt you are garbage. So to transmute those, because death is here to help you do that, is part of this work. The other part of this work is aligning with others, this Knight of Emotions, your heart people, the 4 of Inspiration. But also there's a lot of waiting for divine time and the turning of the earth, and trusting that what you put in will bear fruit. A lot of that energy here as well. And then I just feel you finishing this. It's like a funny, heavy thing that just came into me. I can feel you finishing this and resting, healing your mind. And there's like that feeling of the burden that you get to put down ahead. I feel like your thoughts are what burden you. Your interpretation of yourself, your past. Like if you come from trauma, it can cause you to prepare always for further trauma. But there's really like sweet companionship here. Like this is my favorite part of your reading. Is like this is what you need, and with your friends and your classy love offer. The Knight of Emotions to meet you. And then you wait together. You wait for the wheel to turn together. So, I know that makes sense to you, but let me know. All right, have a beautiful day.